Chinese manufacturing PMI came out overnight on Wednesday night, early Thursday morning, down further than expected, showing that a trend in the manufacturing there might be headed further in a spiral. Here to talk to us about it today is David Levy. David, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
So David, we talked about this a little bit before coming to the studio. What do you make of this Chinese manufacturing PMI?
Well, you have to always take any single number as a variable and questionable piece of data, especially when it comes from China. But there's no question that the trend in Chinese performance has been lackluster.
Right.
And there are real questions about whether this revival of the Chinese economy that people got excited about last fall, with a lot of people assuming new government automatically meant something magically would be done, is in fact actually turning out to be quite as easy as people thought. We do think that China is one of the key areas to watch for global stability going forward. We expect it to be at least somewhat disappointing. We're hoping it's no more than just somewhat disappointing.
Okay, so we saw a big hit in the Nikkei stock average in Japan, spread globally. We've seen it as well today in our own markets. So I'm wondering, should U.S. investors be worried about it for the near term?
Well, I think as far as the Japanese market move, we have to realize this market was really overdue for a correction, and I'm certainly no technician, but sometimes you see something go up that many days straight, something has to correct. So I wouldn't make too much, beyond a trading point of view of what happened here. We'll see how much strength the market's going to show in the weeks ahead. But I think there is actually both good news in terms of the potential in Japan, but a real concern in terms of the Japanese reaction to the Chinese market. I mean, clearly, or Chinese manufacturing, clearly the health of China is one of the pillars, that the other one being the US and European, at least stability, not getting worse, that we need to keep the global economy at least, plodding along.
Sure. So real quick, your quick take. Japan going forward, United States heading forward as well, just the base economic outlook.
Right. Japan, very long term, has enormous potential to revive. It's spent 2 decades cleaning up excesses, tremendous need to reinvest and take off. Maybe Abenomics is the catalyst. The big question is whether the global economy will be there to support it or will undermine it. I'm a little bit worried about that. US, we're in the midst of a very big secular correction. Began in 2008, shrinking balance sheets that became way too big relative to the size of the economy.
Right.
We're only partly through that process. We think there's at least one more nasty recession before we become real long-term bulls on the US.
Great. Well, David, thanks so much for your analysis on this.
My pleasure, Joe. Thanks.
You heard it from David. Short term, they think Japan does definitely have some upside potential. China, even though some tough numbers overnight, they're not going into the fear sector yet. As for the US, maybe another recession sometime in the near future. Long-term future, still possibly on the up. I'm Joe Deaux, The Street.